Okay, practice test number 2, question 1. The point 3, so our x is 3 and w is our y, is on the graph of this function y equals 2x plus 7. What is the value of w? Well, if we just substitute 3 in for x, we get y equals 2 times 3 plus 7, which is equal to 13. So y equals 13, but our w is actually our y, so the answer is 13. Let's see, question number 2. Which situation could be modeled as a linear function? Remember, linear function when adding or subtracting the same amount each period. So the value of the car depreciates 7%. So a percent is not the same amount, an equal amount. It's a rate percentage. So that would be an exponential decay. A gym charges $50 initial fee and then $30, the same amount each month. So there's our linear function. The number of bacteria doubles. All right, that's a percentage again. So that's an exponential growth. The amount of money in a bank increases by a certain percentage each month. So that's going to be exponential growth. So linear, same absolute amount is added or subtracted. Exponential, it's a percentage. All right, question number 3. When is written in standard form? So standard form is where you go from the highest exponents down to the lowest. So we would move this x cubed, which is the highest exponent, to the front. And the leading coefficient is whatever coefficient's in front of the highest exponent. So that would be 2 would be our lead coefficient, and they don't ask it, but -6 would be our constant. So lead coefficient is 2. The gym customer must pay $50 for a membership plus 3 each time they use it. So this is a y equals 3 times each time I use it plus the flat rate of 50. So this would be a linear model, y equals 3x plus 50. Number 4, these box whiskers. Remember, here's our range is from the lowest to the highest. This is this middle line is our median. This is our inner quartile range from Q1 to Q3. But the simplest question, which has the greatest range? Well, they've all started in the little over 50, but this one goes way over to 100. Remember, range is the highest value minus the lowest value. So this would be D. If the zeros, so remember, zeros is where y equals 0, or another way where the x, where it crosses the x-axis. So remember, when you're solving these, you're going to set each one of these equal to 0, each one of your terms. So to have -3, I've got x plus 3, because when I solve for x plus 3, x equals -3. X minus 4 would be x4, and the x would be 0. If they haven't taught you this, that's fair. This is a little tricky, but you remember it's for each 0, you'd have a function like this. Okay, the scatter power. Okay, positive correlation is where they both go in the same direction. Negative correlation is where they go in opposite directions. No correlation, there would be just a scatter plot. So this is a positive correlation between popcorn sales and soda sales, because as one goes up, the other one goes up. Okay. Expression is equivalent to, well, this is just factoring, so we're looking for factors that multiply to 24, that add to a -10. So -6 and -4 add to a positive, or multiply to a positive 24 and add to a -6. All right, next question is about a little too far there, sorry about that. Question number 9, find the slope of this function. Well, the easiest way is to put this into slope-intercept form by solving for y. This is a little tricky, so you subtract 7x plus both sides and divide each term by 18. So the slope is negative 7/18, and the y-intercept is negative 3 over 18, which simplifies to negative 1/6. So our answer is the first one. This next one, solve for x. This is just combining like terms, so it's order of operations. Remember to distribute the negative over our parentheses, so we get 3x minus 7x minus 12 equals 2x minus 6, and then you're just going to solve from there. The value of the x-intercept on the graph, well, so the x-intercept is where y is equal to 0, because you think of that x, that horizontal line, x-intercept, that's where our y value has no height, so it's 0. So you just plug 0 in for y, you get 4x equals 5 times 0, which is 0. So 4x minus 0 equals 40. So x, you divide each side by 4, x equals 10. All right, a satellite company, TV. What are we down to? Satellite company, one-time installation fee serves a total cost is modeled by the function. Which statement represents the meaning of each part of the function? Okay, so this is know each part of the function. So y is the total cost, that's right. X is the number of months of service. Yep. 90 is the installation fee. Nope. In this function, 40 is the installation fee, and 90 is the service charge per month. So where does they say that? 40 is the flat and 90 is the service charge. So it would be number 2. All right. Now, this is from the North Carolina. Now, you can solve for y and do all that, but another way to do this is if you've got these answers, just pick some points that are in the shaded area and see if they work. So 0, 0 is shaded in this first one. So let's see if 0, 0 works. I just plug 0 in for my x and my y, and I get 0 is less than 4. Well, that's true. So I know 0, 0 has to be shaded. So A is a possible answer. B is not a possible answer because they don't shade 0, 0. Or C is not correct, and D is a possible answer. So right off the bat, by substituting 0, 0 in here, I've narrowed it down to either A or D. Now, D has the point x equals 10, y equals 0 shaded, while A doesn't, so let's try that point and see if it's true. So the point 0, 10, 0 minus 10, negative 10 is less than 4. So that's got to be shaded. So the way the trick of this, the shaded area is the solution set. So D is the only one that works because it's the only one that's got both point 0, 0 and point 0, 10 shaded. All right. Let's see. So this gives you this function is defined by a certain domain from 2 to 6. What is the range? Well, I just plugged in 2 and I plugged in 6 to see what my range is. Well, my range is my y value. So if the domain is 2 to 6, then my range goes from 0 to 8. So it would be answer number 1. Let's see, question 15. So this is just a FOIL, right, is equivalent to, so I take x times 3x, which would be 3x squared, x times negative 3, 2 times 3x, 2 times a negative 3, and you're going to get 3x squared plus 3x minus 6. All right, the line, a line passes through the point 1, 6 and is parallel to this equation. Well, we know if they're parallel lines, they have the same slope. So we know the slope of our line must be 4. So we can plug it into this point slope formula. Y minus y1 equals 4, the slope, x minus x1. They give us this point, x1 is 1, y1 is 6. Plug them in here, and we're going to get y equals 4x plus 6 as our equation, so the y-intercept is 2. The slope is 4, the y-intercept is 2. All right, number 16. Which table represents a linear function? Well, this is linear function, same amount of change. Well, here we added 1, but then we added 3, so that can be thrown out. Added 2, added 2, added 2, added 2. That looks like the winner. That's the winner, okay? Number 17. Cost of airing a commercial television model by, where n is the number of times the commercial reached on this model. Which statement is true? Commercial cost of 0 to produce. No, because it always costs. Even when n is 0, it costs 900. The commercial cost 900 to produce and 900 each, or 110 to produce. No, it costs 900 to produce and 110 each time it's aired. So it would be answer number C, or 3. Graph below jogger's speed. So this is how many miles per hour I'm running. What's happening between 9 and 12, this area right in here. Well, I'm not speeding up, I'm not slowing down, but I'm not stopped because I'm running at 6 miles per hour. So I'm running at a constant rate. Table below, 4 different functions. Which represents a linear function? Well, once again, adding 6, adding more than 6, so that one's out. Adding 3, adding 5, that one's out. Adding more. This one, first one's adding, what's that? 7, another 7, another 7. So it's the first one. I'm adding a constant amount. Table below shows the average yearly balance and savings. Compound of no money is deposited. Which function type? So this is not an equal amount each time, so it's exponential, and it's not decay because I'm not decreasing, I'm increasing, so it's going to be exponential growth function. Function, what type of function best models this? Well, once again, it's not constant growth, the same amount. It's not linear, the same amount, so it's exponential, and it's not decreasing, it's increasing, so it's exponential growth. Oh, which represents exponential growth? Well, there we go. These are all the same amount. These are all the same amount. This one's 3 is increasing. I guess I should have this bar highlighted. All right. And the value of 5.2, so that's the amount. So it's cost, the amount spent to manufacture each radio, number 3. The width of a rectangle, so I always do this, the width is, so I say equals 4 less, I put that at the end, minus 4, half the length. So the width is 1/2 the length minus 4. Factor the expression completely. First thing here is you've got a common factor of 2. So you take that 2 out, and then you can factor, you have x squared plus 2x minus 8, and you can figure out factors of 8 that multiply to a negative 8 and add to 2. So that would be a positive 4 and a negative 2. So you'd have 2. Graph represents which have zeros at 2 and negative 3. So I've got zeros are where y is equal to 0 or where it crosses the x-axis. So this is a bit of an eye test. So I got to see, it looks like on number 3 it crosses at negative 3 and at 2. So that would be the winner. When this is written in standard form, the leading coefficient, so the highest exponent is 3, so the leading coefficient is 2. I think we had that one once before. Okay, very good.